everybody. And I want to come to you and just deliver a quick message and tell you about something that I absolutely, absolutely believe in. And my friend, Holly, I want you to really take this all in right now, because what is happening and the need that she's fulfilling is going to be, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And it really is something near and dear to my heart and my family's heart as well. And so my friend, Holly Jespersen, okay, Holly is, she's dealt with chronic pain, and she's dealt with some other things. And so what she's created, and because I told her the story about our youngest daughter, she's 20 months. Her name is Emerson Hope. When she was, conceived or whatever, we go to the doctor's appointments, and my wife's Kell levels were elevated. They were elevated to the point where they were alarmingly elevated. And we learned that there is something called Kell, K-E-L-L. They call it Big K. They call it a bunch of different things. And apparently I have an extra added protein on my red blood cells. And what happened was, when our middle child was born, she had triggered an alarm in my wife's body that says, wow, blood loss, not good. Make sure this doesn't happen again. So my wife got pregnant with Emerson, and the elevation of Kell alarmed the doctor. It was like, well, it's not supposed to happen. And so we went to the doctor, and they noticed that her levels were elevated to the point where her body, my wife's body, was killing the baby. And so Emerson was being killed inside of the womb by my wife's blood cells, attacking the baby to where it would get rid of it, because that baby last time triggered a blood loss. And so there's like a positive and a negative and like all this stuff, blood types or whatever. So what happened was, we were diagnosed with newborn hemolytic anemia. Newborn hemolytic anemia. And what happened was, my wife's body is trying to kill the baby. It kills the baby by depriving it of a blood supply. Once the blood supply dries up, the baby has no blood, has no oxygen, it dies, and then, nature, whatever. So in order to not have this happen, we went to Eastern Carolina University, got blood tests done and everything there. They couldn't help us. We went to Duke. Duke University is about an hour and a half away. It was about 90 minutes, I guess, almost 2 hours. And we had to go to these appointments every Thursday or Friday, but every week. It was either Thursday or Friday. Every week we had to go. And so we would go to these appointments. They would check the blood level, make sure that the baby had enough blood supply through the brain. And if she didn't, my wife would have to have intrauterine blood transfusions, which means that through the umbilical, they take a needle and put it through the umbilical, and then they pump blood into the womb through the umbilical cord into the baby. Duke University does this. We met families from Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, all around North Carolina, Virginia, that were dealing with this same problem. And one of the problems that they dealt with was that they either had to stay in a Ronald McDonald house, which was great because the insurance paid for it, or they had to find a hotel, or they had to find somewhere for them to stay if family was coming with them or what have you. So I told Holly the story about how we almost lost Emerson twice. She almost died twice in the womb. My family drove up from South Carolina. My family came down from Michigan. They stayed at our house, but it was an hour and a half one way just to go there. Had we had some place for them to stay, like not a hotel that maybe cost, a bunch of money or whatever, and they can't stay in the Ronald McDonald house, what do they do? What exactly do they do? And so as we were talking, Holly and I, we stayed at a Ronald McDonald house, my wife and I, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. But we have met some great families that are dealing with child illness. So what Holly has come up with, and what we had talked about, what Holly had come up with is something called Holly's Homes. Holly's Homes. And what it is that she does Airbnbs, right? She does Airbnbs. What we are trying to do is serve the families that are facing life-threatening illnesses, okay? The children need to be next to a cancer center, or the children need to be within minutes from a hospital, whatever. And maybe the Ronald McDonald House isn't available. There isn't one. It's full, whatever. So what Holly has done is, in the link in the post right here, is a GoFundMe. And what we're doing is so she's building 10 Holly's Homes. And what they are Airbnbs specifically designed to house the families that are facing life-threatening illnesses with their children. It gives the family a place to stay within minutes of a hospital. It gives the family a place to stay that fulfills the needs, whether it be certain air purifications, whether it be different medical devices need to be in the home. It needs to be wheelchair access, whatever. So basically, the home is designed so that it houses a certain family with a certain need, which is next to the hospital that the Ronald McDonald House or whatever can't fulfill. And had we had one of these Holly's Homes, we could have brought our family into the home and stayed in that home while my wife was, my wife and I were at the hospital. My family could have stayed close to the hospital rather than driving an hour and a half one way from my house back to the hospital or whatever. It would have been a lot better. And so I need your help. This is near and dear to my heart because I know what we went through with our youngest, and I know what other families are dealing with. I met a family that had a hole in their child had a hole in the heart and needed to have surgery, and the family wanted to be there, but they couldn't be in the hospital the whole time, or they would live in the hospital. It's not a great situation. And so my friend Holly is on a mission to build 10 of these homes in and around cancer centers and children's treatment centers in Canada and the United States. She already has one that she is already, it's already running and operating. Just got a second one. We want to do 10. Our goal is 10. If we can get 10, then we can serve the needs because we have specific targets and needs in certain areas. And if you know anybody that is facing, their children are facing life-threatening illnesses, or families that have dealt with this, I want you to go to the GoFundMe page and read the backstory of what Holly had dealt with. And now I'm telling you what I have dealt with, me and my family have dealt with personally. Holly's Homes will provide families a place to stay while dealing with this illness at that particular hospital. Because families drive hours and hours and hours and miles away to seek the treatment for their child. And this is just near and dear to my heart. And click on the GoFundMe inside the post of this live and connect with Holly, who is on a mission and I believe will alleviate a lot of stress and anxiety that these families deal with. And so that's what I want to tell you guys. And, if you have any questions, PM me, let me know. If you have any questions for Holly, contact Holly. She's tagged in the post. Please let me know. But I'm telling you, when we tell the story of what she's dealt with and what we have dealt with as a family, there's investors, there's people that are like, oh my God, I dealt with something similar. Or, oh my gosh, had we had this offered to us, oh my gosh. And so us driving so much back and forth and my family having to drive back and forth so much, this would have alleviated the stress and anxiety of where are we going to put all of our family and friends or whoever that wants to support us. So now we have the house. And now when that child, that family comes and stays at that place in preparation for a surgery or whatever, they're in a home that is suiting their needs. Whether, like I said, the air purifications, the requirements of a sanitized area, it can be done inside of this house. And so we need your help. Our mission at the end of 2019 is to have 10 Holly's Homes operating inside of the designated areas in Edmonton, Phoenix, New York, wherever the cancer treatment centers are, right? The top 10 that have the most need, that's where we want to put the house. And I need your help. So inside of the post is a GoFundMe. Okay, read the backstory, donate whatever you can donate. But at the end of 2019, this is what we want to accomplish. We want to have the money to fund 10 Holly's homes to serve the families who are facing or have a child who is facing a life-threatening illness. But they need the place, they need the house, they need an area so that they can stay next to that hospital, because it's a lot of cost. Hospital stays, our bill was almost $100,000 for all of the intrauterine blood transfusions and the hospital stays and everything that we had to, because we had to stay there for that day and the day, after, so that everything would, because they had to monitor the baby for 24 hours. We're in this hospital, living and staying and eating and everything else. And between gas and the food and like everything, it was a lot of money. So Holly will provide the home, the gift cards, like everything they need so that they can focus on the things that really matter. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. Connect with Holly, connect with me, go to the GoFundMe part, the link inside of the post, and just read the story. And it's moving. It's near to my heart. Had we had this, I think that our life would have been a lot easier at that moment in what we were dealing with. I can't imagine what some of those families deal with on a day in and day out, with their child. So read that. That's all I got to say. I won't take up any more of your time. But it's near and dear to my heart. Connect with Holly, connect with me, and support Holly's homes. Thank you. Thank you so, so much.